Hey everyone, it's Saturday the 4th of December. The time is 1:03 p.m. and the temperature is -5 degrees. We're looking at the Turku castle, Turun linna, from the 13th century, which has served as a sort of fortification at first, and then as I saw a description as medieval palace. So Finland has a couple of these older castles still around. And of course, Turku used to be the capital, used to be at the kind of crossroads for a lot of different important roads going through Finland. So it was an important marketplace and very much the central city in Finland. And ships would come from the countries, the Nordic countries and areas around here through the Aurajoki River, which we're going to see today. The plan today is to walk from the castle. We're going to walk around the castle and have a look at this. But then we're going to walk to the riverside and keep following the riverside and Linnankatu all the way to the cathedral probably. So to the center of town and Åbo Academy, which is the university around here. And we'll see some of these sites that have been important throughout centuries. And we'll see some old ships and then a newer development going up the hill not far from here. And hopefully that will be a fairly interesting walk with lots of different aspects to it. It's a little bit of a grey day today, so we get to see those familiar no snow, fairly grey views. I'll just get a view from here towards these older buildings still surrounding the castle area. So you have these kind of I guess storage houses originally over on the side there. Oh, you cannot probably even see them. I recentered the camera, sorry about that. But these older storage buildings, I'd imagine, around here. And the castle right here. We're right next to the harbor as well, where you can take a cruise ship over to Sweden, Stockholm. That would be at the back there, the entrance. If you just kept going for another 5 minutes, you'd be where the ships go from, the terminal. Here's the outside of the castle. I'll get another view once I get around to the other side. And although we're starting around here, it will be mostly a city walk. So we're not far from the sort of central areas at all. Here are the buildings I mentioned on the side. There's a tiny bit of snow around, but I wouldn't really call it snow. I'll make my way to the other side of the castle and we'll have another look and then head over to the riverside for a bit. It's a building you can enter and explore. If you wanted to see the inside or take a tour, hearing more about the history, that's all possible. And there are some exhibitions inside as well that you can go and explore. This is the castle park here that we saw briefly from the other side. quite a nice sign for it. I won't use too much time around here, but it is kind of an interesting historical site to see if you are visiting Turku. And I just took a bus here. Very convenient. The public transport here, you can just use even your Singaporean bank card to get on the bus and pay for it. Worked really well. Doesn't work in Helsinki, though they still have some catching up to do. Here's the view of the castle from the side. It's a really nice tour to take if you want to go and explore an older castle. But we'll just have an outside look today. I think that fits a walk much better. There's a squirrel there. And on this side as well, you have these older buildings. It's a little bit of a feel of history to start off today's walk. And we'll continue along those lines. There are some ships around the riverside that are kind of serving there as a museum ships. So we'll have a look at those. There's the railway to the harbour here. That's what the signs are for. So that's all part of that structure. And some new residential buildings on the other side. There's I think a skiing slope over there in the distance. It has some snow on it. Didn't really look like a lot yet. I think we'll take the little walkway over there after the level crossing. There's a little bridge here. I think the water under it has frozen. So here's another look at the castle before we leave it. This is a warning to watch out for the train. I think actually we'll go around the center there. The smaller dog making trouble there. The bigger dogs are just fine. So we'll take the main road for a bit and then make our way to the riverside. So the castle is right there. You can see the bus stop even. Very easy to get to if you want to have a look. should be fine to cross. A lot of new residential buildings going up here as well, next to the older wood buildings. Turku has a lot of really beautiful wood buildings. They kind of give the central part of town a really nice feel. And I'll turn right in just a moment to go see the museum ship, Suomen joutsen, the Finnish one. The city center was actually quite busy when I left, so around here is a lot calmer, but not too far from here. People were really getting on with the probably Christmas shopping by now. Some of the older buildings here could probably use a bit of renovation. I think this is part of some kind of a museum exhibition. But there's also just a sort of harbor here. The sign says sea center, but this is the Finnish swan. It even has the swan there painted at the front. I'll actually stay back a little bit. If I go too close, you won't be able to see much. It's such a big ship. And the museum here, or the space here, is displaying something called the sea adventure of the Moomins. I'm not familiar with what Forum Marinum does, but it does say the Maritime Center here. It's a nice building. Moomin Sea Adventures. Pop-up Moomin Museum. And it says, life is full of big wonders for the person who is ready to take them on. We have some kind of art here, the shape of a flower. You can just see how complex all of that is. Like, you really have to know what you're doing to operate this kind of ship. and the river half frozen there. That would have been the route that would have brought the foreign ships into the then capital. On my left are mostly residential buildings, like there are on the other side as well. There's some kind of a restaurant there, and also a factory on the other side. I don't think the water bus would be going at the moment. Although there is still some boat traffic on the river. I did check that. We'll have a look at it in a moment. You can see the ice very thin still. But it's almost been throwing rocks on there, so maybe it's just testing if it will hold. I have no idea what this is. Ahead of us you can already make out in the distance the cathedral in the center of the city. And there's, I think, Martin's church on the other side, also visible. I think I'll turn left as we get to the other ship here. We'll see if we can catch the newer development going up the hill around this area. Most of the tourists here were actually going to see that part of town rather than the castle. That looks like a nice cafe there. Very warm. Looking at this. On the western waterfront street, I guess. This is another museum ship that has been here since 1939. There's some information here. Some fairly old photos as well. That looks very dangerous to the modern eye. Wonder if they still do that. Not here, I guess. This stays in place, but on some of them. Quite impressive stairs here and the chimney. Don't know what the numbers signify, but there is a dog. Oh no. That must be a friend. Meeting of two dogs there. we'll go to the street here and have a look at the surrounding area as well. There's a good look at the other ship as well, the museum ship. The dogs are so happy. It's fun. So this is now Linnankatu, Castle Street. And we'll make our way towards Kakola, which is an old prison. These buildings are really nice, and the entrances there look lovely. So the Kakola area has been sort of completely transformed from what I understand. It has a brewery, and it has a new system for going up, which is one of those ones that sort of has almost a tram type of thing normally going up. Don't know if that's called funicular in English as well. I think they're calling it funicular. It sort of climbs up a distance that takes about 1 minute. It's kind of almost a lift, but not quite. And we'll be able to see it in a moment. It's currently free of charge, if I understand correctly. And we'll be able to see where the tracks go and how it kind of gets to the top. In just a moment here, it's the kind of structure going up there before the residential buildings. So I'm not going to take it up over to the Kakola area. There it goes. But we'll have a look, because it seems to have been adopted as a kind of a tourist attraction. And if it's going just back and forth, we might be able to see it going back up. These are the tracks here, and then the entrance is on the opposite side of the road. So it's not a long distance. It's more that it's a very new type of transport for this area. You'd have a similar station at the top, and then a kind of new type of repurposed area, a renovated area there. You can see a bit of the tracks there on the other side. I think we'll get a better view from this side. A few people going up as well. On a fairly good mood. And why not? So that's basically the little hill it would climb up on. It's called Kakolan funicular. And you can also go up the stairs, so it's not a huge steep climb, but quite a few stairs compared to 1 minute. So I think that would be a fun thing to try, I guess. It's kind of a new thing. And that part of town is definitely up on a hill. So that's where we have come from. I'm just hoping I'd be able to catch a view of it going back up. But if not, we'll just continue and see. Maybe I can get it from further on. Shouldn't take too long. I think it's just going back and forth. So it's not like on there it goes. It's not on a schedule or anything. There it goes up. I think they said it holds 30 people. It's quite small for that. Especially in these times with all the social distancing, but maybe. I imagine it won't be that busy most of the time. So there it goes, climbing up for 1 minute. And then you're on top and you can go and visit the restaurants and the brewery and whatever there is on the hill there in Kakola, the old prison district. And it is starting to snow a little bit. I don't think you'll see that on the video. We'll keep going. We'll make our way towards the riverside again, and we'll try to cross the river on another interesting part of the transport system here, the public transport system, which is free, and it's a ferry that goes back and forth between the two sides of the river. So we'll try to do that. And I was checking that even though the river does seem to be on ice, it's still going, and there it is. The ice is not thick enough, so last time in 2018 they stopped because there was an ice bridge that you could use between the two sides. But it's going now. Obviously the ice is not thick enough to have an ice bridge. So I think we'll catch it at the perfect time as well to get across. You can see the birds can stand on the ice. These birds are so big. Just looking at them. So there you go. Rather innovative system to get on the other side of the river. With lovely Christmas decorations there as well. And that goes back and forth, just like that, taking people across the river. A little bit different, I guess. It's free, and it's called Föri. So we're now on the other side of the river Aurajoki. Joki meaning river, so Aura river. There are some restaurant ships around the riverside here. In the summer these would be really nice terraces as well, some of them. So you can watch the river and the surrounding areas. It's really beautiful. Of course now, on a grey day like this, it's not so nice as it would be on a summer's day. I'll just have to come back in the summer. But it has a different kind of charm on a day like this. You can see some of them have lights as well, which looked really lovely yesterday evening, walking around here in the dark. Guess it gets dark so early as well. It's not a super cold day, but I keep getting a bit of ice on my eyelashes, I guess. If you're wondering why I'm quiet dealing with stuff like that. I think these are some of the birds which is saw on the ice now flying across. They're really big birds as well. And we are getting closer to the sort of center of town or city. I don't think we'll take the next bridge, but we'll take the one after that and cross back to the other side. There are quite a few bridges going from one side to the other as well, so it's not just the way we just crossed. I guess that's convenient at that point and also kind of a novelty. There's a fairly cold wind. I might need my gloves. Let's see. Can already see the cathedral in the distance. It's actually not too far from here. I think the next bridge from here, it's very close. I can nearly see it right now. It's just being covered by the one where it's just coming to. I think the next bridge is a new one. There was an old bridge there that I think was getting into bad shape. And at least the talk was that it was going to be destroyed as part of a movie. They were just going to have a big explosion. I don't know if they did that, but the new bridge is there now. So we'll go over to Myllysilta. It looks like we can go under the bridge here. And then Myllysilta is already kind of in the middle of town, or center of town. At least very close. So this is Martinsilta going across here. And this would be Cafe Duck Ankka. I keep seeing a tiny bit of snow falling from the sky, but I almost feel like it doesn't really count. So this would be the new bridge, Myllysilta or Mill Bridge. And you can see the ships, or it's just all the way along the riverside. It's a nice look. Someone's really put some lights and Christmas decorations on their balcony on the other side. That will look quite nice in the dark. There's the windmill at the top there. Probably a bit difficult to see. We might get a better view. from the bridge. So across the river here. I think we can see a windmill a little bit from here. Okay, this is not somewhere we can walk through. On this side I have to cross. Cross and cross and cross. Well, maybe we'll actually make our way to the theater bridge, which does have the dragon at the moment for the light festival. The dragon is pretty cool. Let's go and cross next to the dragon if we dare. That sounds like a fun idea. I could actually just go under, couldn't I? Having a really bad day thinking wise. We should have just stayed there on the original path. This is the theater here. You can start seeing the dragon on theater bridge, Teatterisilta. It's such a dark day and grey day that you can pretty much make out the shape of the dragon even though it's daylight. Buildings on the other side have a kind of a government building look. Not sure what this one is. These benches would be really nice during the summer. Now a bit cold. Oh, sorry, this is the main theater here. You can see that pretty well now. It did say something about here on there as well. Maybe it's another arts building, not familiar with that one or this one particularly. There's the red dragon over Theodore Bridge. And this ship definitely has a terrace during the summer. And as you can see, it's just people are just about as happy as they make up their minds to be. There's a sign there for Kiss My Turku, which is kind of a tourist initiative. I guess some water has already frozen on the side of the rock there. Here's the dragon. And actually yesterday I didn't realize the head was pointing towards the way we came from. And he's kind of sitting on top of the bridge there. And then you have the ships with the lights already, which is nice. That's the tail of the dragon. You get out of the way so people can take pictures. Here's the view once more towards where we came from. And have a look at the dragon facing that way as well. We'll make our way towards the city center here. I'm thinking since it's already 49 minutes, we probably won't make it all the way to Kauppa Academy, the university campus. But I think I'll be able to walk around that area in a later walk today. It's a very historic area, but they also have the Christmas market there, so I'll make my way there today. And if you'd like to see that video or other videos from here and around Finland and normally from around Singapore, then you can always subscribe to the channel if you'd like to, and be notified when there are new videos on the channel. So I think instead of walking over to the cathedral right now, I'll just make my way for a bit of the city center. And that will kind of get us to just shy of an hour, which is a long walk as it is. So I think that will be okay. And then if you'd really like to see the area around the church, then I'll make another video of that. How does that sound? I hope it's okay. It will be a bit late for you to actually react to that. So there's some linna on the other side. An area that's a bit higher on that hill there. There's a park. It's a really nice area in the summer as well. I'll walk through some of the maybe a bit busier streets on a Saturday like this. So I'll do that before ending this walk. For kind of different views. Leave the riverside. I hope you enjoyed this walk from the castle and the museum ships over to where you could take that lift to Kakola and then to the city center here in Turku. Thanks for joining me today. And I'll make my way to the main street. Just a second. Sorry about that, just finding something in my pocket. Hold it now. I guess I could say that in terms of the COVID situation, the pandemic, I think they just started applying the corona passports here, or passes, and that went really well last night. So most people seem to have them ready, and you could only get into many restaurants here if you had it. That means basically 2 vaccinations or a test. This is one of the light installations which will look a lot nicer in a couple of hours. And a lot of people are actually wearing masks as well outside, even. On the buses it's mandatory here, I think. At least that's what the signs say. So that's all being followed and happening, which is good. And I think the bus even stopped and waited for someone to put on their mask, since they didn't have it on when they got on the bus, so that was kind of reassuring, since the cases have gone up a bit. You can see it's this area around central town here. Just that little bit of snow falling, but I'd imagine it's not at all visible to you guys.
kerran, että
it's a fairly busy Saturday with a lot of people also in the restaurants. We're having lunch right now. It's a lovely area, the city center with the older buildings. Not just the very, very old, like the 17th century or something, but it's kind of a really nice bigger buildings here, the city center. One of the things at the moment is that the market square in the middle of town is being resurfaced. It really changes the character of the city. It's just completely inaccessible, basically, construction work site. We'll see it in a moment. As I make a left turn. Building over there is another Ferry building. It's on the other side here. There we go. And you can see the construction work in the market square up ahead there. This is completely opened up. And on the side there is a fairly constant queue to a KFC, which personally I cannot understand. But that seems to happen when new sort of chain restaurants come to Finland. Burger King was the same, and I think Starbucks. People will queue to get in. This here is one of the more traditional hotels in the city center. And that has just been opened up again after some renovations. I'll get on the other side and get a better view. This is the very horrible looking market square, which usually is a really nice place, especially in the summer. Here's the newly opened, or reopened hotel. And there's the queue, I think. So with that, and the views of what would normally be a very nice market, but now is not. Thank you for joining me for the walk today. Really appreciate you sticking along for an hour already. Wow, you guys are tough. I hope it was a fun walk with really different things, hopefully. And later on today, I'll go walk around the Christmas market and the city center a bit more. So I'll hopefully have those views and maybe even a Santa Claus, who knows. So thank you for today, and I hope I'll see you again soon.